Slightly different video today. Are hydroelectric dams good or bad for salmon habitat? Let's take a little look into that. I have a salmon habitat in my backyard and I have a hydroelectric dam in my backyard. Well, pretty much in my backyard. Due to a few major obstacles in our way, we're going to go for a long drive. But for you, it's going to be a short drive. For me, it'll be a long drive. This would be the first obstacle in the way and home to a lot of different species of fish. But today we're just talking about the salmon. Late summer and into the fall, the salmon come from the ocean and do a little better than a 300-mile journey to get here, laying their eggs throughout the river in the shallows, in the gravel beds. The largest of those salmon would be the Chinook, also known as the king salmon. This is as far as the salmon will get. It's relatively close to my house. It's only about a 5-minute drive from my house. However, today we're going to go a little bit further than the salmon can. We're going to that far end of the lake and then a little bit further. So now we've driven around, we've went through 3 small towns, and we're at the opposite end of that lake now. To get around the lake in the winter, it's a long roundabout route. A little bit of technical information. If you want, you can just pause it here and read this. There is another lake upstream from here. However, this would be the reason that since 1929, the salmon have not been able to get to that other lake. Trying to fly my drone out on this platform, it just wasn't happening. It's a see-through platform and I was getting dizzy. Originally they planned on building this dam around 1912 and they had started, but it blew out the temporary dam, which is also called a coffer dam. Coffer dam. So it wasn't until 1929 that they actually built it. This pipe here is called a penstock. The original one was 800 feet long, over 8 feet around, and made out of wood. Some years ago they decided to build a log chute and a fish ladder, but neither has seemed to have materialized yet. One of the problems this dam has had is the buildup of silt. And they used to have a valve somewhere low in the dam that they would release the silt downstream. Well, I guess that wasn't too good for the salmon that lay their eggs in the gravel beds. So now what they do is, I guess every few years they just dredge it out. I think back in 1929, it took over 60 guys and over 2 years to build this thing. I think a lot of it was the blasting. And Back then, they had a few people that lived here permanently to run it and maintain it. It's now controlled remotely, and it's capable of servicing around 4,000 homes, which is kind of a drop in the bucket with today's standards. But that's no longer the primary purpose of this. Now it's more to control the water levels in the times when there's drought or less water. They can add more water, which is definitely beneficial for the salmon that have laid their eggs in the shallow beds so that they don't come up high and dry. Trees growing out of solid rock. They don't look too healthy though. This river, it starts relatively close to here. For the most part, there is small tributaries, but the vast majority of this water actually starts at the Monashee mountain range here, which is over 300 miles long, and it stretches from British Columbia and into Washington State. Now I have one more stop, and that's the closest town to here for some free smokies and some outhouse races.
Oh, and let's go! Wiped Clean versus Dukes of Splatter.
It's looking like one of my next videos is going to be pushing snow again. It's snowing like crazy here right now. Thanks for watching.